Let's start with the session. Hello, everyone. Happy evening to you all, and we welcome you to this webinar session organized by the Women Enhancement Forum, Faculty of Science and Humanities, SRM IST, Vadapalani campus. In this era of connection, we are all getting connected through artificial intelligence, and each one of us have become search engines to get good contents that keep us engaged, personalized, and interactive. Definitely, you all are going to get immersed into this session, which will definitely give you give you a sense of satisfaction, and you'll have better ways. SRMIST, Faculty of Science and Humanities, Vadapalani, thanks and appreciates each and every one of you who had taken your personal time and you are present for this session. Definitely, we assure that there will be the best takeaways, as you would have gone through many webinar sessions, and this one will be definitely a unique one. With the greetings and blessings, it keeps us to move forward. When we move forward, we have people who has to lead us. The one who leads us in the campus of Vadapalani is the one who makes us dream more, do more, and also to become more. That is our Dean in charge, Dr. K. Padmanabhan, Ananta Padmanabhan, sir. Let me take this honor in inviting our Dean in charge, sir, for this session to felicitate this session with his compassionate and calm words. Over to you, sir. Over to Dean, sir.
Good evening, all. On behalf of SRM Management, Faculty of Science and Humanities of SRM IST Vadapalani campus, I take this opportunity to greet and appreciate everyone who have joined this webinar organized by the Women Enhancement Forum. This forum, right from its budding stage, has been focused on programs of enhancement to increase and improve the human qualities and the value system of every vibrant student potential. Student members from the Faculty of Science and Humanities of this forum are from various regional and cultural backgrounds and also from varied economic structure. This cross culture, which prevails in the campus, has encouraged this forum to initiate programs in the broader aspect. One such wide-angle view is today's webinar theme that highlights on the smart action that is required for every civilian during the crisis situation. This session will definitely benefit the participant, as we all occasionally mix to be proactive and sensibly reactive. In no way it is less to state that this Women Enhancement Forum is one of the pillar of strength of FSH, Faculty of Science and Humanities, SRM IST Vadapalani campus, as it always aims at the program in improving a whole lot of human consciousness. And with the support and encouragement of our director, chairman, and the entire management, I wholeheartedly wish this Women Enhancement Forum to organize such effective program and also excel in accomplishing success in the future activities and events. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean, sir, for your good wishes and the higher hopes that you have on the Women Enhancement Forum. By your very smoothing words of felicitations, it is sure that even being a small lot of concerned and responsible citizens, we can change the world. Thank you, sir. To think wisely and to communicate in the language what people know, it is an art. When that art of knowledge, when it is clubbed with academics, it gets a man shaped as a man of wisdom. And such a person with a plenty of rich experience and expertise knowledge in the field of academics is our Director Academics, Dr. K. Subram, SRM IST, Vadapalani campus. Sir, may I now take this honor to invite you to give your presidential address to this intellectual community. Over to you, sir. Over to Director, sir.
Okay, good evening to you all. Distinguished guest, Mr. Sriram, founder, Chief Instructor, Director, Urban Self-Defense, Dean, SRM IST, dear colleagues and beloved students. And there is no chance for welfare of the world unless the condition of the women is improved, said by Swami Vivekananda. I will repeat this. There is no chance for the world, welfare of the world, unless the condition of the women is improved. So, to acknowledge the thoughts and words of such a great philosopher, we, the Faculty of Science and Humanities of SRM IST City Campus, has taken great initiative and efforts in building up an enriched society through Women Enhancement Forum. And if you see the vision and mission of this forum, is it audible? Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
sir, it's audible, sir.
Yeah.
You can continue. Please
Okay.
proceed, sir.
This forum has a clear vision of the change over ways to improve and contribute to the community at large. It cares for the clean and green environment. I repeat the word clean and green environment in which we live. The development program that are targeted for the future will have a significant impact on the society that is in transition phase. When you see some few holistic programs that are on abstracts and thoughts, I want to highlight some of the programs which we are providing hands-on training for startups to emerge, developing skill sets, and also promoting technical skill. When I use the word technical skill, and students should understand that in these 3 years in the
So,
campus.
excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
Sir, your voice is very feeble, sir. It would
Yeah.
be good that if you keep your mic closer
Yeah.
to your.
Yeah. Now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Few holistic programs that are on abstracts and thoughts. I'll just highlight some of the points. Providing hands-on training for startups to emerge, developing skill sets, and also promoting technical skills. When I mean technical skill, the student learn to have technical skill or apply to have technical skill in the campus for next 3 or 4 years, whatever the period you are continuing here, and that will be the major contribution to your parents, to the society, and to the nation. So we concentrate on technical skill as well as the skill sets for job opportunities also. Mastery in decision making and leadership legacy, gaining economic empowerment through women or through savings, promoting positive behavior on health and to stay fit. So these are all our holistic programs, and accomplishment of this forum are worthy to share, as every program had set a milestone of its own. Awareness program was organized to help the people at distress and also to safeguard them through a widespread app, Kavalan. And we concentrated for this app, and we invited some police officers, and we conducted that camp, Kavalan. And we aimed for more than 50,000 SRM students should download this Kavalan app. So the police department is also, city police department is also very happy. And then women student entrepreneurs were encouraged by setting up stalls for them. Here, I'll try to bring one important first women entrepreneur in India. That is Kiran Mazumdar Shah. She is the founder of Biocon biopharmaceutical industry in Bangalore. First women entrepreneur. She has started this Biocon, and now you know this is one of the largest biopharma in India, and more than 10,000 people or employees are there, and then now it is aiming for $2 billion turnover in 2020, and this is an example for women entrepreneur, and we aim for that to create women entrepreneur, and created a wall of fame by signature campaign and self-pledge to contribute for moral society, and talent portrait programs on creative designing, arts and culture, and finally safeguarding and contributing to green environment by fuel-less activities. When I say green environment, we should try to see that now we are facing this COVID-19 pandemic. Now, if you ignore this climate or green environment or climate change is going to cause another very big pandemic in 2060. You, the students, will be seeing this pandemic in 2060. Very big pandemic, like more than this COVID problem throughout the world. If the entire world ignores this green environment or the climate, they don't bother about the climatic change or how to preserve the nature. And one thing the scientists are telling, now because of this COVID-19, that a lot of carbon content has come down in the atmosphere. It has come down to 17% clean environment. This blue sky, you can see blue clean sky because of this COVID throughout the world. And now the carbon content has come down to 17%, and everywhere, all the campuses throughout the world, educational institution, they aim for carbon neutral campus by planting more trees and other things. This is called carbon neutral campus. And if we ignore all these things, by 2060, maybe in another 40 years, we are going to see very big pandemic, more than COVID. So we insist for carbon neutral campus. And even the sky level, they say that in 2100 or 2060, the sky level, I mean sea level, is going to increase by 7 feet. You imagine the Marina Beach, if you see that level is going to increase by 7 feet, how much of water will come inside. So you imagine all these things are going to happen in 2060, which the students are going to see. So that is why we insist for green and green environment and clean environment. So these are all the things what we want to concentrate through such betterment programs. If it is definite that this world will bloom and bounce back with our cultural heritage intact. With these few words, I take this opportunity to wish you all success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, Director Sir. You proved through your words that you are a visionary man. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
It's time for the much awaiting session that all of us have been eagerly waiting for. With further no delay, I would like to call Dr. N. Padmavati, Head of the Department of Computer Science and Applications, FSH SRM IST, to welcome our chief guest. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to one and all present here. The guest of today needs no introduction. It's my privilege to introduce the guest to the audience. Mr. Sriram is a Krav Maga instructor from Chennai. He introduced this art in the state of Tamil Nadu after getting trained from Israel. He is well known for his political cartoons, TV interviews, articles on self-defense and personal safety. He is a trainer, fighter choreographer, and an actor. He trains police and paramilitary forces, and he is also training people, women category, for their safety and self-defense for girls. It's an honor to have you amidst us, sir. I once again welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir. I request the chief guest to take up and proceed. Sir?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for the introduction.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
And I would like to thank the Women Enhancement Forum of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, and for the encouragement given by Dean Dr. Anantha Padmanabhan, and for the good words and wise observations of Director Academics, Dr. Subraman, and also for Dr. Padmavati for the introduction. So I hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay. So before I start on the actual topic, I would like to give a disclaimer. Because whenever we go and talk about women's self-defense, the common question from the girls is, why are you coming and teaching us? Why don't you go and teach the boys? Because they are the reason for the problem. And that will solve a lot of problem instead of coming and teaching us. which is very valid question. I go to a lot of corporate workshops, I go to colleges, schools. So this problem can be addressed at different levels. Okay, it is like a road accident. The accident could have been prevented by better lighting on the road, by better brake condition of the lorry, by the lorry driver being given the license in a, after proper testing, by not having TASMAC shops along the highway. So, and there are so many reasons and so many ways to intervene into us not getting into an accident. So we can stop at the governmental level by having good laws, fast tracking of courts, better law enforcement. We can tackle the problem of crime against women at the community level, like having better security, proper lighting of this thing, CCTV footages, safety in public transport. So many things can be done to enhance women's safety. We can also address the problem at an institutional level, like how you are doing. From your institution, you are trying to educate the girls, about safety and those sort of things. And like many offices, they also have workshops on workplace sexual harassment, which is, wherever men and women are working together, there, especially 30,000, 40,000 women are working in a company like TCS or Cognizant, there will be issues. So this can be addressed at an institutional level. And finally, this can be addressed by the individual. When all these things, because when I'm in a problem, even if I make a phone call to the police, they may take some time to reach me. Till the police reaches me, I have to take care of the issue. So these are all the things. Today, the disclaimer is self-defense is not the only solution for crime against women. I am only handling one aspect of the problem. The problem can be addressed at different levels. Since I am trained in martial arts, I am constraining my observation, my talk to my topic. Okay, this is a disclaimer I'd like to give to all the people who are in this forum, so that we can, before we proceed, there will be clarity. Now coming to the subject, there is a common worry. I would like to, since I have only around 30 minutes, I would like to clarify two things. This session will not make you into an expert in martial arts. This will only open a door and give you some awareness. Based on the direction, you can choose how to go forward. I can, instead of total ignorance, I can give you some pointers. Okay, the first worry for any woman is, how will I tackle a man? Because he is taller than me, he is stronger than me. That is one major worry for every woman. And the second thing is, should I be an expert in martial arts to tackle, to defend myself? This is one major worry. Now, I would like to state, irrespective of size, we can tackle somebody bigger than us. It is only a question of knowing human anatomy, which I will explain now. And you need not become an expert in martial arts. That is only if you want to make into a career or something like that. With a little bit of common sense. The most powerful weapon you have in your body is your common sense. So using your common sense and a little bit of knowledge of the human anatomy and a little bit of knowledge about criminal psychology. So these three things I will speak today. I will spend around 5 to 6 or 7 minutes in each subject, because we cannot go into the physical aspects of self-defense in this session. Probably we can have another session, a demo sort of session later. So this session will be an eye-opener, a sort of introductory to the subject of violence. Violence is a very alien subject. All of us are taught to be polite from younger age, how to be polite and how to not indulge in violence. But violence is the last weapon. We say no samadana beda dandam. When all the things fail, the last is dandam. We have to take the weapon in our hand. That is the last resort. So violence is not a very intelligent solution, but it is the last solution. When all civilized options fail, we have to resort to violence. That is the last option. So even I tell my students, violence is not an intelligent solution. It is a crude way of solving a problem. But it is the final way of solving a problem when all things fail. Okay. So now coming to the first thing, I will just open my, I was telling how a small person can handle somebody bigger. See, I am around 75 kg. When I stand in front of a 100 kg man, probably 6 foot 3 inches, even I will be intimidated because size will be intimidating. For every woman, the average woman is smaller than the average man. So all of them think they are intimidated because the man is bigger than them. So how we can defend against somebody? There are certain parts of the body which is same in strength for all of us. So I'll just show the screen. I'm just opening. Okay. Now this is, can you see the screen about with the human figure and the parts? Now these are the vulnerable spots of the human body. These are not vital spots. Vital spots are heart, lungs, brain, which are life critical. Now these parts are not life critical, they are vulnerable. Why they are vulnerable? Eyes, nose, mouth, chin, groin, testicles, knees, toes, is they are same in strength for everyone in the world. Whether he is 6 foot 3 inches, 4 feet 2 inches, whether he is black, whether he is yellow, whether he is brown. My nose is same in strength, like, with all of you. My body may be stronger, but these parts are same in strength for everybody in the world. So even if a 50 kg girl is facing a 90 kg man, if she hits him in the body, it is not going to affect him. But if she hits him in these parts, it will affect him because both of them are on the same platform of strength. Okay, this is the first thing which you should understand. In martial arts is different. Street self-defense is different. In street self-defense, we are only talking about survival. We are not worried about rules. It is talking about a situation where a young girl is fighting against four in an isolated place. She is not worried about rules. She is only worried about survival. So this is the knowledge, first knowledge we should give to the participants is what are the vulnerable spots of the human body? Eyes, nose, mouth, chin, groin, knees, toes. 7 spots. They are the same in strength for everyone. And very interestingly, these spots cannot be strengthened. I can go to a gym, I can strengthen my shoulder. I can strengthen my biceps. I can strengthen my back. I can even strengthen my calf muscle. But can I strengthen my nose? Can I take a dumbbells and hit my nose 10 times a day? Will my nose become stronger? It won't become stronger. Because none of these parts have muscle over them. Only parts which are covered with muscular tissue can be strengthened. None of these parts have muscle, so they cannot be strengthened. And if you notice, interestingly, they are well distributed. Some are at the top, some in the middle, and some are at the bottom. So in any situation, the guy could be sitting next in the car. He could be standing behind the girl in a public transport. The girl could have been pushed, she could have been pushed on the floor, the guy could be standing. In whatever position, in whatever context, at least one of the vulnerable spots will be accessible. Even if he's standing behind, even if he's sitting next, even the girl has been pushed on the floor, at least one vulnerable spot will be accessible. That is why we are talking about these 7 vulnerable spots. And as I said, these cannot be strengthened from birth to death. The strength of these spots remain constant. All these 7 spots. And easy to reach. All of them are on the surface. None of them are internal organs. If I want to hit a liver or a kidney or something, I have to be an expert. I have to be an expert in martial arts. I have to be well trained. I should have strength. Now we are assuming a normal person, a girl working in a bank, a guy working in IT, they will not be black belts, they will not be experts. We have to teach techniques which will work for the average fit person who is not trained in any martial arts. So when we teach self-defense, we have to assume the student is not interested in becoming an expert. The student is not fit. He is not interested in becoming fit, and he has limited time. He has other priorities in life. He has a job. They have a family. So they go into a road rage. They go on Google. They find there is a self-defense class. They just come. They need to give 1 or 2 hours a week. That's all. In this 1 or 2 hours, we have to give them a life skill. So we are not interested in making them into black belts or champions. We are interested in making an ordinary man or woman reasonably intelligent enough, resourceful to come out of a situation. That's all. That is our job. So self-defense should not be confused with combat, sports, or martial arts. They are for experts. Street self-defense is for common people like you and me. I started learning at the age of 45. I was vice president of an IT company, and I was, I abused my system to the core. So I decided to take up something at the age of 45. So it is suitable even for people who are past their prime, who are not optimally fit. This is what I want to stress upon. Now, these parts, since they are not covered by muscle and they are on the surface of the body, they feel pain more. Instead of an internal organ, like poking into an eye, I can, without much strength, I can cut his visibility or mobility, which is very important. Cutting mobility or visibility is very important in self-defense. A weaker person cannot just push someone and run, because the other guy will get up and start following them. So the idea is I had to cut that by kicking him in the groin or knee or toes or poking him in the eye or something like that. I can temporarily cut his mobility, which will give me time, precious window of opportunity to reach safety, at least to open a door and shout. So when we teach normal people, we have to teach them simple things which they can do with their available resources. We cannot expect them to act like an expert. Okay? And none of these parts are life critical. When we teach self-defense to common people, especially civilians, we cannot teach any technique which may end up in a fatality. So none of these parts, including the groin. Many people think, oh, if I hit him in the groin, he'll die. That is only in the movies. Movies exaggerate everything. Like we see a lot of transgenders who have, surgically removed their testicles, but nothing has happened to their life. So groin is very painful because any sexual organ has more nerve endings. So the pain is felt more, but nothing will happen to their life. We will not teach any technique to a civilian or a policeman, which will end up in a fatality. So to sum it up, these are the vulnerable spots: eyes, nose, mouth, chin, groin, knees, toes. This is the first level of knowledge if you want to learn street self-defenses, how to be on an equal platform with somebody bigger than me. So I have addressed the first question. The first question is, can I handle somebody bigger than me? Yes, you can handle, provided you have this basic knowledge. Of course, how to strike these parts is a different proposition that we will teach. This is the first level of knowledge. The second level of knowledge is what to do with this knowledge. So now that I know what are the vulnerable spots, what is my choice of reaction? Which is the most intelligent self-defense? Getting into a problem, doing fancy techniques and coming out of it, or anticipating a problem and not getting into it, avoiding it. So all of us know avoiding is the most intelligent self-defense. But unfortunately, many adults, even intelligent people, well-educated people who are experts in defense still get into problem because of these 4 reasons. Bad judgment of person, bad judgment of situation, ego, or social media vulnerability. These 4 points is something which, bad judgment of person. We have to talk about this especially when we go to adolescent girls. When we are teaching adolescent girls, we teach them a lot about how not to get into a relationship without thinking. We are not taking a moral stand. What we are saying is, take your time. People try to appear good. People put on their best character forward when I want to impress someone. My true characters, my flaws come out only in small actions in life. How do I treat a pet? How do I treat somebody, a security guard who is stopping me from entering? How do I behave when I am provoked? It could be a small provocation on the road. It could be a small argument in the family. Do I become extremely angry and violent? Do I have an anger problem? Because when I want to impress a female, I will hide my flaws. I may have an addiction. I may be addicted to some alcohol. I may be addicted to pornography. I will hide these problems. I may have an anger issue. I will hide this because I want to impress someone. So we tell people, watch for small, how people behave in small incidences. Big character flaws are revealed in small actions. Because when I'm going for an interview, I'll be very careful. But I will not be so careful in hiding my flaws in day-to-day interactions. That is where people reveal their true characteristics. The second is bad judgment of situation. This is very common today because all the people are hooked onto their mobile. You go to any public place, You will see people hooked onto their mobile. அப்ப அந்த காலத்துலலாம் we will say no, பொண்ணு வந்து குனிஞ்ச தலை நிமிராம இருக்குன்னு. Today everybody is குனிஞ்ச தலை நிமிராம இருக்காங்க in the public place because all of them are looking at their mobile. Now most of the problems, common crimes can be anticipated and avoided if I have situational awareness. Even a chain snatcher is not going to go and snatch a chain immediately. First he will do a resi. He will look for a victim profile. Is the chain visible? Is it worth the effort? Is the mobile costly? Is the victim looking aggressive? Or can I dominate the victim? He is looking for certain profile. He is looking for the situation. Then only the crime takes place. So if the girl is walking on the road, lost in the mobile, probably the bike has crossed it, two guys wearing helmet, it takes a U-turn and comes back, she will not notice it till it happens. But the situational awareness, she will see the bike going, making a U-turn, at least she will be thinking, why these guys are going and making a U-turn? At least she will keep an eye on them. So bad judgment of situation can be avoided by being situationally being aware in any public place. I'm not saying you should not use the mobile. Even if you use the mobile, be aware of what is happening around you. A crime doesn't happen suddenly. There is a process. If you are aware that a crime is, something is happening before that, at least you can be preemptive. Ego is a major problem for men. Men don't know how to say sorry. Men don't know how to back off from a problem because it is an ego thing. Many men's problem is basically road rage and drunken brawls. When we teach women, we focus more on sexual harassment. When we teach men, we focus more on anger related issues. It is not that women don't have ego. Women also have ego, but men's violence takes place because more of ego related issues in ego. So generally we tell people, even feminists, many people say they are feminists. We appreciate feminism, we respect them, but don't get into a problem just to prove that, I am also equal. When somebody sees a mad dog on the road, they don't say, I have an equal right to walk on the road and walk across the dog. They give it clearance. So sexual predator is also like an animal. It is better to, avoid these sort of issues instead of getting into an ego trip and saying, I want to prove something. It is always, err on the side of safety. And social media vulnerability, of course, we are talking to a mature audience here. When we talk in schools, we talk a lot about, because today, most of the issues of women's safety start in social media. It starts online and then it moves offline. So we have to talk about, how not to give personal details, how to not reveal your emotional vulnerability online. Especially youngsters, they may know that is the age where they take any parental authority as, they don't understand me. They don't give me the freedom I require. This is the common complaint. So when somebody adds a little bit of understanding, they immediately pour out all their, anxieties, everything to that person. Now that can be manipulated against them. So we talk a lot about, especially when we talk to adolescent girls, we tell them, don't reveal your emotional vulnerabilities to somebody whom you don't know much. And don't give personal details. Don't take your online relationship offline without having a backup plan. Even if they try to go, let us meet in a coffee shop or something like that, they should go along with a friend, or they should tell a friend, please, if there is no reply from me, please call me, or give your geolocation, be on WhatsApp or something where they can track you. Some have a backup plan before going and taking. So the most intelligent self-defense is avoiding, and these are the 4 factors how people are not able to avoid. When people are not able to avoid, the best option is to escape. Don't worry. A typical, especially in areas which are isolated, criminals will approach you under some pretext. Even in Ramayana, how did Ravana approach Sita? He did not approach her with all 10 heads. He came like a beggar. He came like a mendicant, so that he can close the distance, then do the crime. So criminals are very good actors. Without having a capacity to con someone, one cannot become a criminal. So to close the distance between the victim, they will generally show a paper, a visiting card, asking address, some, asking for help and close the distance. So here I'll show a real life video of an incident. See how this incident happens, how this fellow approaches this.
Dallas, Texas. This lady takes a quick two-step into a local mall. What she doesn't know is the security camera isn't the only thing tracking her every move. This is a purse snatcher lying in wait, and that's his accomplice in the white car. When the bad guy sees the woman head back toward her car, he makes his move. He pulls out 3 fake credit cards and asks if she dropped them. She keeps walking, but she doesn't get far. He grabs her purse. She fights for it, but he overpowers her, knocking her violently to the ground.
Hello?
Yeah.
So we were not able to view the video.
Can you see the video?
Faster in that getaway car.
We were not able to view the video, sir.
Oh, okay. Probably the video is another screen, so I think you are not here. I had to share that screen, I think, probably. So this is, I was opening this video from the PowerPoint. Anyway, what it showed is the car park where a guy approaches a woman in a car park, an isolated car park, and he shows a card as if he's asking for directions. Now, when somebody approaches you in an isolated place, people will panic. But when he has a paper in his hand, we hesitate. So this is a common ploy by criminals, is how to close distance, putting you, confusing you for a small movement, then closing the distance. So this is a very, very important thing we have to tell is in isolated places which are called fringe areas. A typical fringe area is a car park. What is a fringe area? It is a public place which is not very crowded. That is called a fringe area. So these are most of the crimes happen in fringe areas, common crimes. Elevator is another common, it is a common place where it can be isolated for a few minutes. It can end up in a sexual harassment or a snatching incident. So in a fringe area, if somebody is trying to approach you under some pretext, even if you want to help that person, go inside or go out, get some security or somebody along with you and try to help that. I'm not saying you should not help the person, but help the person with a backup plan. Because criminals are great actors. If something is too good to be true, probably it is. That is what we tell people. And also many people think criminals look like criminals. Criminals behave like criminals. Unfortunately, world over, the worst criminals looked very decent, did not look like criminals. It is only the common criminals on the road, but a psychotic criminal like Ted Bundy, about whom now a movie is also released, was the worst criminal. But he was a very decent looking guy. So, and well educated guy. But he had some psychotic issues which made him into a problem. So we also tell women, don't go by external appearances. Sophisticated criminals can look very decent, can talk decent, can nurture you emotionally, and they take a lot of pride in nurturing a victim. For them, it is a sort of egoistic satisfaction kind of thing. So we ask people to look for small aberrations in their character which will reveal their character flaws. If something makes you uneasy with a person, if something makes you uneasy in a situation, don't try to be polite. Leave it as a. Okay, and also using mobile safety apps. Now, youngsters use apps for everything. Now, as you correctly said, Dr. Subram was telling about that program you had about Kavalan. Kavalan is free of cost. Unfortunately, I go to any college or any school, I ask how many people have installed their apps, or I go to a company, hardly out of 100, 2 will raise their hand. These things are available free of cost. One has just got to go, Kavalan gives you a GPS position. It sends messages to 4 or 5 of your contacts immediately. So, in fact, now there are more sophisticated mobile safety apps which even track you. If suppose I press my SOS switch, it only gives me present GPS position. But what if the girl is put inside a car and being driven away? I will only know the last GPS position. In 5 minutes, the GPS position would have changed. It would have been 5 miles away. So now there are apps which update the GPS position every 5 minutes. There are apps which switch on the camera. So at least for some images can be, some buildings, some faces will go to the contacts. They'll be able to identify at least some location or with whom they are. So tell youngsters, since you are using apps for everything, also use technology for personal safety. These are all available free of cost. So this is something which we have to impress upon the students. So I think now, Ms. Geeta Priya, how much time I have? How
Yes, sir.
much time do I have? Another 2
Yeah,
minutes?
yes,
Or
sir. You
we
can
go to the
take.
question and answer session.
It's up to you, sir. We have planned the session
No,
according to your availability.
somebody raised a hand and wanted some question. So actually we have 2 more subjects. We can talk about them in another session. It's, I am getting into the physical aspect of it. Now we talked about the cerebral aspect, the common sense aspect of self-defense. We can move on to the physical aspect in another session. We can keep it as a separate session, which can be a demo kind of session also. I can keep it in my training room where I can ask my girl students to come and do some demos. We
Yes,
can teach some techniques. So now I ask the audience, somebody raised a hand. Any doubts you have, kindly ask me. So to sum it up, there are 2 questions which I answered. Self-defense, my first doubt is whether I can handle somebody bigger than me, physically bigger than me. Now, number 2 is, should I be an expert in martial arts to defend myself? So I have tried to tell you there are certain parts of the human body which gives you equal strength, which you can utilize when you are in a problem. Size doesn't matter when it comes to these 7 vulnerable spots. And number 2 is common sense is the most important weapon. So you need not be an expert in martial arts. If you know how to avoid, if you understand criminal psychology, if you understand a little bit of human anatomy, if you can use technology, everybody can be safe. So that is my talk for today, which is just a small introduction to the subject of personal safety. Many people think self-defense, I have to kick and punch. Kicking and punching is the last part. The most important weapon in your body is your brain. So you learn first how to be safe by using your common sense. Then we can learn how to use your body to become, safer. So I hope I have made the last 30 minutes you have given me. I hope I have made it useful for you.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for the practical
Any
tips.
queries you can ask, people can ask me.
Yeah, now we'll have an interaction session, sir.
I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll go back to it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. With a great hearty thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Sriram, let me take this opportunity to thank him once again wholeheartedly from the management team and the technical team also. Now it's session for interaction, sir, and we have here in our platform Ms. L. Komati, Assistant Professor from the Department of English, who will be interacting with you with few certain unique questions which has appeared on the chat box, sir. Over to Komati, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. It's my privilege to thank everyone. I can say that today our Women Enhancement Fora has been reached the zenith of success by organizing and participating in such a program. And I start this vote of thanks by Dalai Lama's famous words, the root of goodness lie in the soil of appreciation for goodness. On the behalf of SRM Vadapaini campus, I want to thank our SRM management, our director, Dr. Subram, our dean, Dr. Padmanabhan sir, and my special thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Sriram, for giving tactics and techniques for protecting ourselves. And I thank all the heads of the department of our SRM Vadapaini campus, teaching and non-teaching faculty members, and my heartfelt thanks to our organizing and technical team. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all who have participated and presented here. And I request all the participants to fill up the feedback form. It is given in the chat box. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to share my skills, to share my knowledge. And especially thanks to Dr. Subraman, Dr. Ananta Padmanabhan, Dr. Padmavati, Geeta Priya ma'am, and Gomati for the vote of thanks. Thanks, everyone. I hope your time was well spent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Can I leave the
Feedback.
meeting?
Please fill up the feedback form. Thank you.